going to have to cut spending to close that deficit with no new taxes, and that is going to be a significant cut to the state. I also believe there should be a property tax cap because we have to stop the control the growth of the local property taxes. I think that will be a massive undertaking and adjustment for the state. What we just talked about, closing that deficit without raising taxes, everyone is going to feel the pain, and it will be traumatic to the state. Now, you want to make sure this is a productive exercise, and I believe it will be productive, but you also want to make sure it's a realistic and doable task. I think closing that size deficit without taxes is doable and is realistic and will be productive. You could make changes that are counterproductive for the state. You know, some of the programs that the state operates, my Republican opponent proposes cutting Medicaid $20 billion. If you cut the state Medicaid program $20 billion, literally hundreds and hundreds of nursing homes will be closed. Dozens of hospitals will be closed. You have to make sure what you're doing is constructive and not destructive.
Since you were brought up with your opponents talking about, how about a debate?
I look forward to a debate. Campaigns are talking about the details to set it up, but I look forward to it.
How soon might that be?
That's what they're working on right now. I mean, we don't have a lot of time, so it's going to have to be relatively soon, right?
Will we see you quite a bit more coming to the Western New York region?
You have seen me quite a bit for a very long time, coming in one capacity or another. You've seen me coming as HUD Secretary many times for many years. You saw me coming many times as Attorney General, more times than some of you would have liked. And now you're seeing me coming more times as a candidate. I'm here as a candidate for governor, obviously, today, not as an Attorney General.
Endorsement for Con in Napoli, will one be forthcoming?
We'll be addressing that in the future.
Thanks, guys.
Now that Mr. Blasio has dropped out, how are you changing the focus of your campaign? What impact is his dropping out going to put on you?
I'm not changing the focus of my campaign. I think that elections are about choices, and I think Mr. Blasio dropping out of the race actually clarifies the choices for the voters. When you had Mr. Blasio in the race, you had I'm a Democrat independent, but a moderate Democrat independent, let's say. Mr. Blasio would say he was a moderate Republican. Mr. Palladino, I believe, is an extreme Republican. So you had a moderate Democrat, moderate Republican, and an extreme Republican. Mr. Blasio is gone, and I think the choices are now very clear. And my point is, you know my agenda. We've been talking about it. I think Mr. Palladino's agenda is an extreme agenda. And I think now that the voters will be able to look at that clearly. His platform says that he's against a woman's right to choose, even in the cases of rape and incest. I think that is an extreme position. He says that he would take welfare families and send them to work camps in retrofitted prisons. I think that's an extreme position. He says that he would take young people from failing schools and send them to state boarding schools and take them out of the home so they can be conditioned in state boarding schools. I think that's an extreme position. He says that he believes the best form of government is a benevolent dictator. I believe in democracy. I believe his position is an extreme position. So I think it's going to be very clear now for voters. This is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I've done. This is why you have a reason to believe that I can actually do what I say I'm going to do, because this is what I did as Attorney General. You wonder, do I have the capacity to do it? Here's my record. Look at how I cleaned up Albany. And here is my opponent's agenda. And I think that's a very stark choice. Frankly, it's one of the most stark choices I've seen in many, many years. Mr. Blasio was a more moderate candidate, and his positions were more moderate. So I think this is a starker choice.
So So is that going to be your main message for the next 30 days as opposed to putting the